Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here doing a review of a brand new product. I'm very excited to have an opportunity to review this. This is the Balm Foundation from Kevyn Aucoin. When I saw that I had an opportunity to review this for them, of course I jumped on it. I'm really excited to see how this does. I've never heard of a foundation balm before. There may be some that exist out there. It's just me personally, I've never seen it. I've never used it. So this will be the first one that I've ever used before. And if you want to see how it does and my thoughts on it, then make sure you keep on watching this video. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Wolf Pack today. And let's get into it. Okay, and first off, how is everyone doing? Is everyone looking forward to fall when it finally decides to get here? I know I am. We finally have the AC working today, so I figured it was a good day to play with some makeup since it's not going to melt off the second I put it on my face. And this retails for $52. And I know some people may say that's kind of expensive, but Kevyn Aucoin is more of a luxury brand. And I think most of his stuff is used by makeup artists, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's very professional grade makeup. I like the packaging on this. It's very straight to the point. It also comes with a brush. So your brush and your foundation, $40 standard for a foundation in my book whenever it's more of a prestige brand. And then brushes, they vary. This one, it just seems like a good deal to me to put the two together. We will be using this brush today. I'm gonna go ahead and use it to apply it, and then if it doesn't, depending on how it does, I may use other brushes, but I'm gonna try to stick to just this one today. Here is the balm. It doesn't look like a lot of product. It looks kind of shallow. With it being a balm, I'm assuming it's going to go a very long way. The foundation balm leaves skin looking visibly smoother, more even tone, and imparts a virtually bare, brave, and beautiful canvas. This multi-action innovative balm contains skin pampering ingredients that enhance the luster of the natural skin. Apply the foundation balm with a foundation balm brush to instantly even out complexion with a full coverage finish. So this is a balm and it claims to have a full coverage finish. Interesting. So I went ahead and moisturized my skin. I just used one of my favorites, the Tatcha water cream. I'm zooming in just a little bit. And here is another look at the product. And I didn't really know exactly which color to choose on this because whenever they were asking me, hadn't even been released yet, so I didn't really have much information, so I had to go by the information that they gave me in the original selection, and the shade that I chose was light FB 4.5. They had this separated out by 3 different undertones. One is a cool, neutral, and warm tone. So what I'm going to do is half of my face with it, and I'm not going to go in with primer just because I want to see how the balm does on its own, and I want to make sure that it's not actually going to mess it up, anything like that. So we're just going to go into it. The brush here, it does say Kevyn Aucoin on it. It's a fairly good size actually. So, I'm almost nervous because it's so perfect in the pan. I'm almost nervous to dip into it. Let's just do it. So it's done. Quite a bit come off on the brush. I'm not sure how much you're supposed to dip into this, so that may actually, I don't know if that's too much or not. But let's just go ahead and start applying it. Oh, I'm excited. How cool would it be if this works? Because this is a plastic container. I think it's a plastic container. How cool would it be if this works and gives you full coverage, and it seems like the right size for travel? It'll take up less space in your makeup bag. I think this will be pretty good. Okay, now as you know, sorry I keep delaying it. As you know, I have rosacea. I have a lot of skin texture, things like that. So this is a good test to see how well the foundation does on problematic skin. I personally think if you have perfect skin, a lot of things are going to work for you. You're not going to have as many issues or skin concerns, and a lot of things are just generally going to look nicer. So this is going to be a good test to see how it does in covering everything. Ooh, okay. So that's got pretty good coverage. I'm normally a beauty blender person, or I have one particular foundation brush that I'm in love with, so this is going to be a first impression on the brush as well. And I have dark under eye circles also, so again, another good test. I don't know if you're supposed to buff it in or just more stipple it. It seems to be gathering in places. And I do have some dry patches right here. It seems to be clean to those as well. But as far as coverage, it definitely has coverage. And a little bit went a long way. Like, you see this redness right here? I don't see it at all. Maybe just slightly on this side. So I'm just going to get a little bit more. I'm not going to do as much this time. Like, just a little bit. And maybe that's where I messed up. I think I loaded too much on the brush on this side. Because this is a totally first impression. This isn't someone who is a working makeup artist. This isn't someone who, you know, I'm still learning. I'm not someone who knows every single thing to do to make every single product work. I'm just a beginner, and I think that's good for reviews because I don't want something that you have to do 50 million steps to make it work. I want something that just works. I went a little bit too heavy here. I think the key is less is more. Because that, you can clearly see that I'm wearing makeup, but up here on my forehead where I didn't go as heavy, it looks like skin. So this is just the half width, half without. Actually looks pretty good. I'm shocked. Okay, and you can see like I didn't really use much of the product. I haven't used a whole lot of it. So let's just go ahead with a little bit of a lighter hand on this side because so far I do like this. Okay, and there is the foundation on. I don't think it looks bad. This side where I went a little bit more heavy-handed with it, I messed that up. It actually looks kind of thick on the skin. This side did much, much better. So if you're going to use this, make sure you go with the light end first, or light hand first. And I guess you can build it up. It's not really, like I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but I can still see some color coming through here. Not as much here, but then it still gets that thick consistency. So I don't know if this is a true full coverage in my opinion. I think it's a medium to full, but it is very, very pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna let this set in place for a little while. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back and we'll see how it does after I've applied everything on my face. And to finish off the look, I have this highlighter also from Kevyn Aucoin. This is the Neo highlighter in the shade Sahara. And it's very interesting. The way it's set up, you can kind of customize the highlight that you get. It goes from very, very light to more for your deeper skin tones over here, a little bit more golden. I'm going to stay in this area of the highlighter, and I'm just going to use that to finish everything off. I found this at Marshall's for a really, really good deal. Like, they say the price on this was $45. I've looked it up. I think it's closer to $60. And I got it for $17.99. I have wanted this highlighter for a while. I've never been able to afford it. So I'm excited to get it now. And I'm just going to pop that on the high points of the face. Everything else will be linked down below. I do want to say that I forgot to film this part, but I used my Morphe spray. This is the continuous setting mist. I use this to melt all the powders together. Okay, so for my final thoughts on the Kevyn Aucoin Balm Foundation, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I was starting to have some issues with it. I was very concerned that it was looking very heavy on this side where I went in a little bit more heavy-handed. It did look better on this side where it was a little bit lighter, but I was still having issues with it. It still wasn't performing exactly the way that I wanted it to, but once I put everything on it, it's so weird. The powder seemed to make it look a little bit better. Like the more powder that I was putting onto it, like the setting powder, and then especially when I went in with the bronzer, it kind of helped it along. I don't know if it was more locking it in place, and then whenever I went in with the Morphe spray, it looks good in my opinion. I feel like you can still see some of the spots coming through. I still think, I don't know if I would call it a full coverage foundation. I think it's a medium to full, but overall it did pretty good. I don't really see, one thing I do want to note very, very quickly is that I was having some breakouts in my skin, especially around my nose. And there's a couple of spots here on the side that it didn't do well at all. Like the patchiness right here, it grabbed at those spots and just made them more prominent. And that's something I have a lot of issues with just foundations in general. I think maybe I need to take extra steps to prevent that from happening next time, or maybe go with a heavier moisturizer in that area so it doesn't grab it as much and it lays more evenly. But what do y'all think of that highlight? That's pretty, right? That's very pretty highlight. Everything that I used on my face will be linked down below, or listed down below if you want to check it out. But I don't think this is a good product, especially you have to consider the price point for it. For $52, I think the foundation itself is good. I want to try using it with something besides this brush. It didn't seem to apply it the way that I wanted to. It did okay, because it's a very, very dense brush. It did alright blending out, but I'm curious to see how it's going to do with other products. Like, I'm curious if you can use a beauty blender with this. Like, definitely, it's big enough to put a beauty blender in it. It's definitely big enough. And I'm still amazed at how little product I used. I am curious to see how this wears. It didn't really seem to settle into any of my lines too heavily, especially around my my mouth, like around this area. It didn't seem to really settle in anything. And I can still see a breakout there on my upper lip. So I think it's pretty good. I want to try it a couple other different ways before I can say completely it's approved, but so far it is a very, very solid product based on first impressions. I'll just say that. Alright, Editing Elizabeth here. I wanted to add this part into the video as well. I apologize it's so long, but I want to make sure I give a thorough review on it in case you're considering this product. Because yesterday whenever I tried wearing the foundation for the first time, true first impressions, it started to look kind of heavy, and I knew that because especially on one side I applied way too much on there, and so I wanted to give it another shot. So today I did it completely different. I used my Clinique Moisture Surge moisturizer. This is heavier than the Tatcha water cream. I put this on, and last night I also used a face oil, a sleeping oil, so my face was super, super hydrated. And I went in with the Balm foundation again. I went in lightly with it. Let me tell you, making sure that you have plenty of hydration. This for some reason didn't do it for me. Like this, it kind of left my face a little bit more matte than what I needed for that foundation, but it made a world of difference. Like, I love the way this foundation looks now, and I didn't use as much product on my face either. I actually didn't use setting powder for until after I already did my bronzer and everything. I think I even did my highlighter before I did my setting powder, and I just used a little bit here in the T-zone, a little bit under the eye, and in this area, just to kind of mattify it just a little bit. And the skin looks so good. Less is more definitely with this foundation. I did use a different concealer as well. This time I used the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. I wanted to test how the product worked with a sponge. I totally forgot to use a sponge whenever I was applying it all over. I wanted to give that brush another try. The brush is definitely the way to go. Whenever I was going to blend out that concealer that was on my under eyes, it started to lift up that foundation. It pulled it straight up on this side especially. It just made a solid red stripe where you could see my redness peeking out from underneath. So I don't know if this is actually the best foundation to use with the Beauty Blender. I think the brush that they include with the kit is definitely the way to go. It's not as soft as I would like, especially because I had to, when I messed up my concealer in this here, I wanted to retouch it with this brush, and it's a little rough in this area. It's a little bit too much. But as far as the rest of the face goes, it does really, really well. And I went with kind of a simpler look than I did last night, and I really like the way this looks much, much better. So that is just a little bit of afterthought for you. If you are considering getting this foundation, make sure you are moisturized. Make sure your skin is hydrated. And I went in with a dewy eye cream. This is from Pharmacy. The Total Eye Cream Do It All cream. This one did really good for the under eyes, and it made everything blend so much better. I wanted to throw that in there for you guys, and also to let you know that my face may look a little bit heavy in the video, but it was the first impression. That was just the way I did it going into it. So just a little bit more of a full review included with the first impression is that's all I want to say. Make sure your skin's hydrated. And I did exfoliate yesterday before I used it, so I wanted to make sure there weren't any flakies. And I still have some here. It didn't grab as much on this spot, but it didn't really want to cover it either. I can still see I have breakouts that it didn't fully cover. So I still stand by my statement saying that it's not a complete full coverage. I think it's a medium to full, closer to the full side, but still not quite there, if that makes any sense. Alright, well, that is everything that I wanted to say about this foundation. Guys, thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some information, especially if you're considering purchasing it. And I will have it linked down below in case you want to take another look at it. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!